Tim Ryan and Johnny Morris in Pontiac, Michigan, where the Lions have 1st and 10. Greg Landry, 5 out of 7 for 68 yards so far. Came into the game with a 62% passing percentage, and that is Dexter Bussey, number 24, from Texas Arlington. Picked up about 3. 2nd and 7. He was stopped by Doug Buffone.
Here's David Hill blocking the tight end. He has to take care of a defensive end there. Now Hill seals, and here comes Tommy Hart, 53, and boom, right in the chops. Straighten them both up. That's contact, folks.
Monty Clark had to like to look at that block by David Hill. 2nd and 7. Horace King right behind the center. Mike Montler, the recent acquisition from the Denver Broncos, got out to the 20, gained about 2. Stopped there by Hicks and Tommy Hart, little linebacker.
The Bears are using a lot of odd defenses. The 52, a 3-4, sometimes with 4. They now have 3 defensive linemen in with 4 linebackers. And one right over the nose, and that's Jim Osborne over Montler.
What the Bears can do here, trying to keep the Lions pinned in. Landry with time swings it out to Bussey, a low pass, and that cost him probably the time he needed. That looks like he got over the first down yardage marker anyway. Dexter Bussey has the first down. Fensick made the tackle, and Mike Hartenstein ranging over got in on the play as well. Pass was kind of low and he had to reach back for it, and Bussey with second effort got them the first down.
The Lions have done much better in the air than they have on the ground, haven't they?
They have indeed. Landry with a hot hand passing. Wants to do it again. Forced out of the pocket. He can run. It's a block from Hill and another one. David Hill made 3 blocks on a run by Landry, forced out of the pocket. That's alert play by the third-year man from
Let's take a look at David Hill. There he is right there on a slow block, and he sees Landry get in trouble. He gives Tommy Hart a push, and he says, okay, Greg, come on, let's go. And Landry, who doesn't run as much as he used to, carrying that ball rather loosely. Here's David Hill, number 81, as he takes Buffone on, keeps on going down the line. Greg says, okay with me. Now how about another block on Terry Schmidt? And finally, Doug Plank, number 46, knocked him out of bounds, but David Hill gets an A+ on that, wouldn't you say?
Oh, yeah. 3 yards in 4 plays, culminating in a 40-yard pass from Bob Avellini to James Scott. The Detroit Lions really up against it now. They trail 19-0.
That was kind of a long drive in a very minimum amount of plays. 4 plays for 62 yards. Of course, you eat them up fast with a 40-yard bomb. Bob Thomas, by the way, is perfect in the field goal department this year.
Thompson's awaiting it for Detroit. It'll be Leonard, number 39, from the 1-yard line. Good hit on him, and he got out over the 25 to about the 28. Bashnagel, number 84, the man to cut him down, and Thompson getting up slowly. Thompson comes limping to the Detroit sideline. He took a low hit from Bashnagel. Getting some assistance out the field. A handy man, Leonard Thompson, in his 4th year out of Oklahoma State. He can play running back, wide receiver. He's a good return man. Bussey and Horace King, still the running back combo for the Lions. In motion comes Luther Blue. Back to the weak side is Horace King, and he gets out to the 34-yard line.
That touchdown pass from Avellini to Scott was Avellini's first of the season. This is the 3rd game. He got his first touchdown pass, and I'm sure he's happy about that.
Hicks and Livers on that last stop, and you saw little Benny Ricardo, who was out of action last year with a shoulder injury, hit a 48-yard field goal against Tampa Bay last week as the Lions beat the Buccaneers. Slot formation right, Luther Blue in the slot. King nowhere to go. That's Tommy Hart, who just ranged off the left defensive end position and was waiting there when King arrived. It'll be 3rd down and 5 to go. Little, if any, gain on the play.
There's a key to the ball game. Third down conversions. Detroit 1 of 8. Now they have a passing situation. Let's see what the Bears do. 3rd and 5. Will they drop him off, or will they just come after Landry? He's going into a buzzsaw in this kind of a situation, down 19-0. 3rd and 5. Watch out.
Greg Landry, 11th year out of Massachusetts, at the helm of the Detroit Lions. Run right out, sacks him at the 20-yard line. Landry started out with pretty good time, Johnny, but there was excellent coverage by the Bears secondary, and that gave the lineman time to get to Landry.
They doubled Jim Osborne, but the Rydalch was the man that got through there and puts the clamps on Landry, and Rydalch got hurt while making the tackle.
The 5th sack of the day for the Chicago Bears, and Rydalch down getting some attention from the Bears training staff. A little bit hard to see what happened just in the pileup as another Bear arrived on Landry. He may have twisted his leg somewhat, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think he took a hit from another Bear rushman as he was going down on the tackle.
Well, it looks like it's up high around his upper chest area. But it's always hard to speculate. Now it's apparently arm and shoulder, so we will not speculate any further. Let's hope that it's nothing serious. Rydalch, kind of a sleeper in this National Football League. You know, not an outstanding guy, not a spectacular player, just seems to get the job done, and a hard man to get out of that tough Bears front four. They like him a lot on Bears coaching staff.
Yes, he does a nice job. I'm sure, as most linemen, he doesn't like to go out on the 3-man situation. They take him out and bring a linebacker in, so when he is playing, he gives it all he's got. He's very good, steady pass rusher. Not spectacular, but steady.
Played with the Jets, played in the World Football League. He's in his 4th year of NFL action out of the University of Utah. He looks to be okay. Lenny Walterscheid and Steve Schubert are the deep men awaiting Skladany's punt. Tom Skladany standing on his own 5-yard line. Bears with a rush. Campbell coming, and Hartenstein, but he gets it away.
Going to be a good return.
Schubert took it up to 35. Sidesteps one man, but is dropped on a good tackle. Fine tackle by David Hill. Now make it to Bill Gay, number 83, the backup tight end. A 44-yard punt by Skladany. The Bears lead it 19-0.
Dawn Watch, Sea of Japan. The Navy. See a recruiter or call toll-free. It's not just a job, it's an adventure.
As a State Farm agent, when people come into my office and sign an application for insurance, my job is just beginning. There's no sitting back and putting the file away.
Agent Vince Grammarosa talks about State Farm service.
We're continually reviewing their protection. We're continually talking to them. It's on a personal service basis from day to day, month to month. We never forget the people.
And like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
That's the situation here in Pontiac, Michigan. Elsewhere, Oakland now leads Green Bay 14-0. Washington ahead at St. Louis 21-3. Bud Wilkinson, with his introduction to the National Football League, not finding it too much fun so far. They are 0-2 and are down to the Redskins today. Bears first down at their own 31-yard line. Bashnagel in motion. Walter Payton. Lots of blockers over there. Gets around the corner, then is forced out by James Hunter, number 28.
Have you ever seen so many men shift in one play in your life? They shifted 4 different men. And finally ended up with Walter back in the I formation, and Harper and Reedy Sorey, 69, out front. And Harper and Walter got around the horn and got himself 5 yards. As you take a look, and look who's on the phone, Gary Danielson, thinking, well, maybe I'm going to get a chance to play, or is he going to relay things on to Greg Landry? We'll find out.
Walter Payton now at 79 yards rushing in 19 carries. 2nd and 5. Slot formation left. Golden Richards, number 83 in the slot. Roland Harper, quick opener, trying for first down yardage, and he'll be close to it. Doug English, number 78, made the tackle.
There's a good-looking twosome. Landry and Gene Washington, who was at the 49ers for so many years, has a strained Achilles tendon, and the Lions picked him up on speculation, hoping that he'll get well. He hopes to play by next week, but he's one of the all-time receivers in the NFL. He played for the 49ers for about 10 years.
They're going to measure out there, Johnny, and Roland Harper made a real good effort to get close here, and he got it. He's the man waiting there, and he put his hand up saying, we got it. So Roland did the job.
We were talking about pass defense. The Lions had 0 yardage against them going into this game on the pass, but no longer. And look at this one. Tampa Bay 9, Minnesota 7 in the second period.
Vikings didn't get a lot of offense generated in the Monday night game last against the Denver Broncos, and Tampa Bay, another tough defensive team like Denver, giving them fits today. It's down, Bears. Walter Payton. Tackle behind the line by number 50, Paul Newmoff, a veteran linebacker in his 12th season from Tennessee. We talked about all the changeovers here, and we saw Gene Washington on the sidelines, not expected to play today, as Johnny mentioned, because of the Achilles. Dave Washington came over from San Francisco with him. Jimmy Allen, we've talked about, he's been a busy man. Mike Montler from Denver, Brad Oates from St. Louis, Freddie Scott from Baltimore. A lot of new faces. Monty Clark trying to rebuild here in Detroit. Loss of about a yard on the play. Didn't help Walter's average much there. 2nd and 11. Play action.
Watch out.
Deep for James Scott. James Hunter picks this one off. And Scott covers him immediately at the 11-yard line. So Hunter gets even. The pass was underthrown. And Hunter was there with James Scott.
You hit it on the head there, Tim, with good pass blocking. The pass was underthrown, and Hunter had an eye on the ball all the way. Scott came back, made the tackle. He got the interception, but he's not quite even. Maybe if he makes another one, he'd be even, I guess, figuring when you give up a 6-point touchdown. But at least Detroit Lions have the ball and a chance to get on the board before the end of this game, with Chicago leading 19-0.
All the guys that do commercials for light beer from Miller are big stars and guys like that. Me, I'm just a humble bartender, but I drink light too. And I'll tell you why. It's less filling, it's got 1/3 less calories than a regular beer, and it tastes great.
Jerry, now that you're a big star, can I have your autograph?
Well, sure, Mr. Dangerfield.
Hey, would you like mine?
Not really.
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer, and less.
How about my initials?
Coming October 6th, a new American road car. The all-new Ford LTD for $79. With more front and rear seat room, more driver convenience, more handling ease, and more window area than last year's LTD. A road car to take you across town or across the country. This land is your land. This land is my land. Test drive the new LTD October 6th at Ford dealers across the country.
Tim Ryan and Johnny Morris at Pontiac, Michigan. We're going to see Gary Danielson, the third-year man from Purdue, at quarterback number 16 for Detroit. He played the second half against Tampa Bay last week when Landry sustained a minor rib injury. But now, with the team down 19-0, Monty Clark is going to give him a chance. Dexter Bussey, number 24, got to the 15-yard line, got maybe 2-3 yards at the most. Osborne was there, number 68. To hit on him. There's Gary Danielson. He's 6'2", 195 pounds, 27 years of age. He was 1 for 4 against the Bucs last week in the second half. Landry left the game 8 of 14 for 88 yards.
Jesse Thompson brought in a play. Let's see if Jesse Thompson, 48, will be involved in the play.
Detroit has not had a first down in the second half so far. We've got 10:49 remaining in regulation time.
Oh.
Back. Horace King had lots of room and runs hard out to the 29-yard line. Gary Fensick made the stop, number 45.
Let's take a look back across the grain there. Great block in the middle of the line. Montler threw a nice block, and it was Gary Fensick, 45. As after Plank missed him, 45, Fensick got him, and Jerry Muckensturm, 58, piled on. Terry Schmidt was there. Good gain for the Lions. You've got to move in a hurry.
That's their first down here in the second half. Danielson, number 16, the quarterback. King and Bussey, the running backs. Dexter Bussey gets away from Hicks. Schmidt gets a piece of him. He shakes that off and gets to the 45-yard line for another first down. Plank and Fensick finally combine to stop him.
This is all well and good as they catch Muckensturm inside and he gets around Hicks, but that clock continues to roll and they got to score 3 touchdowns to win this ball game.
16-yard gain for Dexter Bussey. Philadelphia and New Orleans are tied 7-7 in the second period. Ron Jaworski has thrown a 20-yard touchdown pass for the Eagles in that game. They tied up after the Saints had a 7-0 lead. First down, Lions, 2 in a row. Ball at the 45. Danielson will throw. Screen pass. King, what a hit! Oh, that was read perfectly by Gary Campbell. And he just sliced between the intended blockers and really nailed it.
It came late. The screen took too long to set up. And you're going to see 59 Campbell measure his ball carrier. And King better watch out because here he comes, number 59. He doesn't get a chance to turn around and set himself. And that's the way they teach tackling right now. Drive right through him, head right through him, and drive him to the ground, head first.
2nd and 10, no gain on the play. Got just to the line of scrimmage. Dexter Bussey's got 85 yards, and that now leads Walter Payton in the rushing department. Danielson has time. There's an open man. Bussey, good cutback, has the first down and 4 more. To the 41-yard line of the Bears. Fensick, number 45, made the tackle. Good play.
Dexter Bussey's doing okay for a man who is injured.
Yeah.
You see Danielson bobble the ball as he went back through the ball nicely. Right in there, and Bussey gets a couple of extra yards and gets the first down. As finally, it's Tom Hicks and Gary Campbell and Gary Fensick in on the tackle.
14-yard gain, another first down. Lions moving under Gary Danielson. 8:30 remaining regulation time. 19-0. Chicago leads it. That's 7-0 at the half. Flag is down. Danielson intended for David Hill, and that is the first pass directed to the Detroit tight end today. It goes incomplete, and flags are all over the place.
David Hill claimed that he was interfered with by Gary Campbell. You see Brad Shear, 72, jump off sides, but the offensive lineman may have moved slightly before. Let's see, it's very complicated. 2 or 3 penalties, maybe.
Well, they're calling it just offside against the Bears.
Defense, number 72, offside, first down.
72 is Shear.
He hasn't played too much, and he had an unfortunate incident. Brad Shear, number 72, he got stung by a bee in practice on the tongue. Can you imagine that?
Oh, boy. That's a terrible experience.
Yeah, he said that it smarted, and he didn't want that ever happening again.
Yeah, well, that can be very dangerous. I'm glad it turned out fine for him. Danielson complete.
Oh.
No, incomplete. Freddie Scott could not hang on. It was a good pass right on the end of his fingertips. He couldn't quite get a grip on it and then took a hit.
The fake and just the quick post in there. Almost a sensational grab.
Fensick and Schmidt were there.
There's Luther Blue.
Blue coming to the Detroit sidelines. Jesse Thompson, number 48, in with Freddie Scott, number 47. As wide receivers. Slot formation right. It is 2nd down and 5. Interesting call situation here for Danielson and the Lions. Now they move Horace King up to the wing on the left side. Now he comes back a little uncertainly.
Didn't know where to go.
Danielson, sideliner, complete to Freddie Scott. First down, no flags anywhere, so the Lions keep the drive alive.
Dexter Bussey didn't know where to go, so he just stood still, which was the correct thing to do as Rideout puts the pressure on, and the pass was really very nicely thrown. Good grab, both feet in.
Schmidt pushed him out. First down, Lions at the Bears' 24-yard line, and the really first sustained drive for Detroit all afternoon. Let's see if they can sustain it to the end zone. Danielson Bussey, hit by Tom Hicks, gets inside the 20. Picked up 5 on the play.
Very nice play by Danielson because there was a lineman obstructing his view, so he threw the ball sidearm and drilled it low and still got it through. I can see what's coming right now in Detroit, and Detroit fans and sportscasters. This next week, are we going to go with Danielson or Greg Landry?
That'll depend on whether or not he gets this into the end zone. If they have a turnover or an interception, that argument would be academic again. If he scores, you're dead right. That'll be the talk all week. Going for it to Hill, overthrown, and Hill was open. Danielson unhappy. Look at that. He says, yep, I got it up, sailed it through the end zone, incomplete. 3rd down. Now he's got to get the 1st down here, and in comes a play from the sideline. Jesse Thompson, number 48, delivers it, and out goes Luther Blue. Bears send in Lenny Walterscheid and Brad Shearer. So they've got an extra back and an extra rusher. Shearer, Hart, Osborne, Hartenstein, Rideouts along the front. Linebacker Hicks goes out. Walterscheid replacing him. 3rd down, big play here for the Lions. 7:21 remaining in regulation time. Ball was never snapped. Danielson pulled away without the ball. And Mike Montler, evidently one of them wrong about the signal. Mike Montler, number 63, didn't hand the ball up.
He said he was showing 2 fingers. He says, was it 2 or 3?
I've heard of quarterbacks coming up empty-handed before, but not quite this way.
Jim Osborne, he was ready too, number 68. But anyway, they'll get another shot at it. It's just a little bit longer now. 3rd and 10.5 yards to go, which makes it a little bit tougher.
So Buddy Ryan, the Bears defensive coordinator, sends back in a different set of troops for this situation. 3rd down, now 11 to go, following the 5-yard penalty. Danielson, lots of time. Nobody rushing him, but nobody to throw to. Now he delivers, and it's incomplete, intended for Freddie Scott. Scott came all the way back out of the end zone to try and help out his quarterback. Bears had everybody deep. Gary Campbell's way back there, all of the secondary. Muckenstern was covering kind of midway deep, along with Reeves. And it brings up 4th down.
Well, the Bears had a 3-man rush with linebackers all over the place downfield, and their 4 deep backs, and it would be tough to find a receiver. Danielson could have run to his left and could have run down to the 10-yard line probably, but quarterbacks are supposed to think pass first, and that's what he was doing.
He also kept in one of the running backs as a blocker, so he was not out as a receiver, so that it worked in the Bears' favor in that respect. That they weren't putting much of a rush on, but the Lions didn't have people downfield to try to find openings. 4th down, they're going for it, no surprise. Blue in motion. Danielson under pressure from Hart. Pulled down by Rideouts. So Hart and Rideouts and Osborne do the job on Danielson, and conversation this week may turn back the other way, Johnny, which would be kind of unfair to this young man. He did a good job getting him that far.
So the Chicago Bears are going to take over the ball with 6:57 left to score. Bears 19, Lions nothing.
Sears National Automotive Values. Only $99 to $119 gets you not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 new 4-ply tires for most subcompacts to full-size cars. $99 to $119. Now on sale, the Sears 36 battery. Loaded with starting power and it's maintenance-free. At only $27.99 with trade-in, you save $7 on Sears 36 battery. At Sears.
3 unidentified 19-inch color TV pictures, each the best of its brand. Over 1,000 people saw them and picked the one with the best overall picture. They didn't pick America's biggest seller, Zenith, or the second biggest, RCA. Over 60% picked the 19-inch Sylvania Superset. Over 60%. We're not the biggest, but a lot of people think we've got the best picture. The Sylvania Superset.
Next Saturday, CBS Sports Spectacular presents live coverage of the Trenton 150, plus the Ruffian live from Belmont Park. You'll say, you saw it on CBS Sports.
Tim Ryan and Johnny Morris, that's our score here and elsewhere. A couple of changes in the flows of the games. San Francisco scored. They now trail Houston 10-6. Seattle has gone in front of the Jets 24-17. The Giants lead Kansas City 23-7. And Oakland in front of Green Bay 14-3. First down, the Bears at the 31. Harper, the ball carrier, to the 36-yard line. Bears taking over on downs as they finish with a sack on Gary Danielson, their 6th sack of the afternoon. They have handed the Lions 50 yards in losses via the sack department. Gain of 3 on that play, 2nd and 7.
Which tells us that the Lions have not solved their offensive line problems. They've made so many changes. It's going to take a while for Monty Clark to get it together with him.
6:22. Bears just want to use it up now as they have a healthy lead, 19-0. Harper cutting back against the grain, got another couple of yards. Harper's been a busy man this afternoon. That's his 15th carry on the day, and he's got 54 yards. Doug English put the stop on him.
The Bears, if they win this game, which it looks like they will be 3-0 in the Central Division. Green Bay is losing to Oakland, so if Green Bay loses, they would be 2-1. And weren't the Vikings losing to Tampa Bay?
Yes, they were.
9-7.
Behind. Third down, 5 to go. Mulaney would like to keep this going here so they can keep the clock going. They're going to go with Harper, and he is met right at the line of scrimmage. There was no hole at all. It was Ed O'Neill, the linebacker, number 55, and Doug English and John Woodcock, the tackles, just putting up stiff resistance, so Parsons will have to punt. And the Lions will have another offensive opportunity, but they've got to make a lot of things happen in 5-12. Luther Blue goes back to await the punt inside his own 20.
And boy, do they double up the outside receivers for the Bears on this. Men who are going down to cover the punt. 2 men on the 2 outside guys.
Parsons, good punt, another high one. Fair catch signaled by Blue at the 19 of Detroit. So they're down to 4:51 in regulation time. The Lions have got to make it happen and happen in a hurry as they trail 19-0.
Since the very first automobile was made in America, more than 2,500 new cars have been introduced. But the best-selling new car ever introduced is this one, Ford Fairmont. Fairmont has great EPA mileage estimates unsurpassed by any midsize car, and the lowest sticker price of any car in its class. In fact, Fairmont has the most room for the money of any car. Ford Fairmont, the best-selling new car ever introduced. Sedans, wagons, exciting Futuras. See them all at your local Ford dealer.
My old buddy Jim was a great umpire. He was quick on his feet. He's got eyes like an eagle.
I'm still quick because I don't get filled up. I drink light beer from Miller. Light tastes great. It's less filling. It's got a... What's it say?
Here you go, Jim. Try those.
Oh, yeah. A third less calories than a regular beer. Hey, you're Boo Powell. Hey.
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer and less.
4:51 to go. Detroit Lions 1st and 10. Gary Danielson at the controls at their 19-yard line.
Well, the Chicago Bears are about to win their 9th straight regular season game. It's been a long time since they've done that. I believe 1941-42.
Pitch out to Horace King. Hit just over the line of scrimmage by Tom Hicks. Terry Schmidt got in on it, number 44. And he got maybe 2 yards on the play, 2nd and 8. In comes Bolton for the first time today. Andy Bolton, number 43. Third-year man out of Fisk. He was scheduled to start today for Dexter Bussey. But Bussey's ankle obviously didn't bother him at all because he had himself quite an afternoon for the Lions.
Jerry Myers is now in there, number 74, the defensive end spot for Chicago.
Bussey gained 85 yards on 11 carries. today's game. Danielson misses up the middle. Intended for Luther Blue. Third down. 7 to go.
The Bears will play a Monday night game next week against the Vikings. As you look at Monty Clark, his Detroit Lions will play Seattle in an interconference game next week. The Lions will be going in 1-2, and the Bears will be 3-0 against the Vikings, who will be either 1-2 or 2-1, depending on the outcome of the Tampa Bay game.
Wide right for Detroit is Freddie Scott. Wide left is Luther Blue. Andy Bolton, Horace King, the running backs. Danielson in the pocket, now forced out, looking for an open man. Sideliner complete. Ivers forces Jesse Thompson out of bounds, number 48. Blue comes back in. And they have the first down out to the 35-yard line. 3:57 to go.
Detroit Lion fans have gone through many, many years of frustrations. They've had a lot of 7-7 seasons, 6-8 seasons over the past few years. The last time they played in a championship, I believe, was 1957.
Something like that. They were 6-8 a year ago under Tommy Hudspeth. That's complete to Freddie Scott at the 48-yard line. Another Lions first down. We talked about all of their turnovers. They're 10 sometime starters gone from a year ago. And 3 more of those, some are full-time starters or on injured reserve. So it's really quite a different look this year. The offensive backfield really the only untouched area, and the linebackers, as Johnny mentioned earlier. Scott has 4 catches for 48 yards now. Freddie Scott, the Lions.
I hate to say it, but a lot of these Detroit fans have gone and left the Silverdome.
Danielson deep. He's got a man open, and it closed up as Livers, with a lunging leap, got his hand out there to knock it away from Freddie Scott.
Len Walterscheid, number 23, came over and helped out as the Lions gave him protection. And you'll see Walterscheid converge on the ball, and Livers make a leap to bat it away at the last second. Good coverage by the Bears. However, if the pass had been a little bit longer, it might have been a completion.
Second down and 10.
A lot of plays coming in from the sidelines now with the receivers. Monty Clark told me yesterday that if Danielson got in the game, they would send in more plays than if Landry played, so that's what he's doing.
Bears back in a 4-man front, and they've got Jerry Myers, number 74, in the game, along with Buckensturm, so using some defensive substitutes here. Intended for David Hill, the tight end, incomplete. Coverage by Tom Hicks, number 54. Leonard Thompson with a nice bag on his knee. He was injured on a return earlier in the second half.
Probably the hardest hit of the game. Remember that kickoff return? He got hit from both sides.
Yeah, I think it was Bashnagel who got down low on him, as I recall. Real tough tackle, and it hurt him. Third down, right outs goes out. Extra linebacker in is number 51 for the Bears, Bruce Herron. Picked up last week on waivers from Miami. I think they may have got themselves a fine there. Second-year man from Colorado, drafted last year by the Dolphins. Danielson intended for Hill again and almost picked off by Herron. And that'll bring up fourth down again for Detroit.
You have to be impressed with the Bears' pass defensive coverage. They don't leave many creases in there for you to complete a pass when they drop those linebackers off. They've got 3 or 4 men right across the field around 10 yards deep, and it's tough. If you get behind the Bears, you've got some problems. As Detroit is forced to punt once again, as Steve Schubert, who really put the clinching play on when he downed that punt on the 1-yard line, put Greg Landry in a hole. Subsequently, he was sacked for a safety.
Schubert standing on his 12-yard line. Lenny Walterscheid, the up man. Tom Splitini. He and Parsons have both punted extremely well today. That high punt a little shorter than his previous ones, and Schubert from the 15. Pulled down from behind by Bill Gay, reserve tight end from USC. Next week, the NFL on CBS will have this doubleheader action for you, depending on what part of the country you're in. New Orleans at Cincinnati, the Rams at Houston, Atlanta at Tampa Bay, Detroit at Seattle, Green Bay at San Diego. And the doubleheader games are St. Louis at Dallas, San Francisco at New York.
The Chicago Bears are going with their first team all the way. No changes in the lineup, despite the fact there's only 3 minutes to go and a 19-0 lead. So
first down from the 15. Walter Payton. Nowhere. Bruce Rhodes, number 33, and Paul Newhoff, left side linebacker, number 50, cutting him off at the pass.
You got to hand it to the Lions on that play. As you see their fans leaving in droves. Leaving.
Well, that'll cut down the traffic to the airport for us. That's one way of looking at it.
At any rate, the Lions made a nice play on that last one. You'd think this is a chance where Walter Payton could maybe drum up some yards, because he might not quite get the pursuit or the hustle from a team that's down 19-0. But so far, the Lions have played tough on defense these last few plays.
Loss of the yard to Walter Payton. 2nd and 11. And Payton on the wrong side. Avellini wings it back, and that's going to cost him a delay penalty. 3:02 to go. Doesn't hurt too much.
Bob Avellini has undergone some criticism because the passing game hadn't worked. He's not considered the swiftest quarterback in the league, but he seemed to get the job done. Today he completed some key passes. In the last couple of games, when they needed the completions, he got it there. He's kind of like out of the Joe Cap mold. He's tough, confident.
Throws the ball with a better spiral, though.
Yes, Joe Cap had those end-over-enders, didn't he?
He'd get it there, though. Roland Harper straight ahead. Jim Finks remembers Joe Cap real well. The Bears general manager had Cap in Canadian Football League at one point. Ed O'Neill made the tackle.
Didn't Cap go on to New England and get that big contract? Remember?
Yeah.
With New England?
Yeah. He was in Minnesota.
Yes.
3rd down.
Uh-oh. You better turn that over. It's the other way around today. It's the other way around, because the poor Bear, he's alive and winning.
Losing on the sidelines and winning on the scoreboard. 3rd down, 13 to go. Roland Harper has a hole out over the 20. He'll be short of the first down, however. And he's stopped by Bruce Rhodes. Jimmy Allen, number 40, has been a busy man today. Getting in on the action as well, and that'll bring up 4th down for the Chicago Bears. And 2 minutes remains to play in regulation time, and that tells the story rather graphically. The Bears have not been pressed too much after leading 7-0 at the half.
You know what you could do with Mobile One? You can now drive from New York to Los Angeles without an oil change. And back. And back again. And back. And back again. And back. And back again. And back. 25,000 miles. 25,000 miles without an oil change. That's what you can do with Mobile One.
Okay, big, great G. If Natural's gonna be the best car rental company, we have got to hustle. Schultz, the last reservation call.
9 seconds, sir.
Walsh, green light service means
Fast service, sir.
Willoughby. Before we rent this new Chevy, we check all 10 items on the maintenance checklist. And then we sign it. Sir. Okay, team, let's go. 10,000 people working for you. The big green team. We're National Car.
Luther Blue will await the punt from Bob Parsons. You see Parsons standing on his 7-yard line, and you see those 2 Detroit Lions in your foreground double-teaming the wide men who are trying to get loose for the tackle. Now, it is Roland Harper getting the first down and then some, and even the Detroit crowd is cheering that play. He's all the way down to the 41-yard line.
I knew the last 2 minutes would be exciting. Let's take a look at Roland Harper, the short up man. Good block. Detroit doesn't even know they're running the ball until he's about 15 yards downfield. And I'll tell you what, that helps the old rushing average, doesn't it?
A 31-yard gain for Roland Harper. Tony Dakin finally stopped him. But a surprise play by the Bears, who keep possession here with 1:20 remaining.
They should have saved that one until another game, shouldn't they? They already had this one wrapped up.
That's right. And as you mentioned, it does help Harper. He only needs 2 more yards for 100. He's got 98 unofficially. First down at the 47-yard line of Detroit. Bears are not going to give up the ball if they can avoid it. Walter Payton gets maybe a yard. Woodcock and Sanders on the tackle.
Robin Earl coming into the lineup will get a chance to play as Roland Harper goes out. He'll be just shy of 100 yards, but still another good game for Harper. And Mike Morgan, number 29, comes in as Walter Payton trots off the field. A couple of young backs getting a chance to maybe for a carry or two before the final gun.
Bears fans might be interested to know that Roland Harper has now moved ahead of George McAfee and Bill Osmanski in the all-time rushing list of the Chicago Bears. His performance today. Robin Earl, number 39, close to the first down near the 36-yard line of Detroit. 8 seconds remaining on the clock, and that'll be it. The Bears head for the locker room with their 3rd victory against no defeats, and the Lions leave to the boos of their fans, so-called at least, here in the Silverdome. The end of the game, the final score, 19-0 Chicago. We'll be back in just a moment.
Ooh, I'm sorry. There's so much information in the yellow pages, you'll never be caught with your pants down. You'll even locate maps that are tailor-made to help you.
I see you right around the corner. Hold still. Yes, all right. Yes, all right.
When you need to know who, what, where, when, and why, let your fingers do the walking through the Bell System yellow pages.
It's me, Ali, the greatest, up here in Alaska to tell you the latest about Motorcraft auto parts from Ford. Motorcraft heavy-duty shocks tough as these were tested on mean Alaska roads on 50 cars and trucks from Ford, GM, and Chrysler. After 6 rugged months, only 3 Motorcraft shocks couldn't take the beating. Motorcraft shocks, they have the stuff. Motorcraft parts are tested tough.
Stand by, please.
We have a little time. Tim Ryan and Johnny Morris, and we've been joined here in the booth just seconds ago, literally, by the Vice President General Manager of Chicago Bears, Jim Finks. And Jim, you've got to be happy with the performance of your team today, a shutout?
Yes, we are, Tim. I think the shutout's the important thing, even though I know a lot of people back in Chicago are glad that we completed a few forward passes, as John is, but the shutout, I don't care how you get it. It's rare in the National Football League, and I think it's something the defense can be very proud of.
Jim, we mentioned the passing game. Avellini, his percentage, we didn't get his final statistics, but he had a very high percentage, maybe 75% of his passes. And what do you think turned things around?
I think time, basically. Bob, I guess, is a slow starter. But the thing about Avellini is that he won't get down on himself. I still don't think he's passed as well as he's capable of this year, but he's going to get a little bit better. And again, you're 3-0, and we're very delighted, but I don't think we've played a good football game yet from start to finish. I think we've had some periods where we have been either what word am I looking at? Inconsistent or flat is what I'm looking for. And then finally we pick it up a little bit just when we have to. But we're looking forward to these next games. Now we have Minnesota and Oakland coming into Chicago. And
you're looking forward to that, are you?
Yeah, I think we are. Yeah, well, especially since we're 3-0. We are.
It's easier to look forward to when you're 3-0.
How did Minnesota do today, by the way?
They were losing the last we heard to Tampa Bay by a couple of points, and hopefully maybe we'll get a final here in the next little while.
Golden Richards, you made the trade for him. You gave up a couple of draft choices today. He looked good. He got the nice long pass for you.
He's a clever receiver, John, and you can appreciate this. And I'm sure that Bob Avellini, when he gets a little bit more accustomed to him, Golden Richards on one side and James Scott on the other. It's two pretty good offensive weapons that I don't think Abileni's really had since he's been quarterback for the Bears. And that should certainly help our pass offense considerably.
You know what you've got in terms of an offensive line, but they seem to be of a group on the team the slowest to kind of get started this year. We saw it in the preseason, and even today, as you pointed out yourself, you know, they've had flat spots. They haven't been able to really assert themselves yet, but you can't really worry about it when you have that kind of talent.
Well, we know they'll get better, Tim, and we know that when they've had to do it this year, they've done it, like in the St. Louis game, the opening game, when they made an 11-play drive for the winning touchdown. We have an awful lot of talent in the offensive line. It takes time to coordinate the offense, probably more time than the defense, and we're encouraged, and we're 3-0, and that's the important thing right now.
Jim, we want to thank you for coming in and helping us fill a little time here, and they're going to help us in New York now. So we thank you again, and let's return to CBS Control in New York.
All right, thank you, Tim. Back here in New York, I'm Brent Musburger. Jim Finks just asked about Tampa Bay and Minnesota. The Buccaneers lead at 9-7. They are underway in the third quarter. Fran Tarkenton is still at quarterback for the Vikings. He started, and he has gone all the way this afternoon. Let's get you up to date on everything that has gone on. The game you watched, 19-0, Chicago 3-0 under Neil Armstrong. Cleveland and Atlanta, time running out. It's been a good one so far. Browns score in the second half. They lead it by 7. Kansas City and the New York Giants, 2 touchdown passes by Pisarcik, and the Giants are in command. Pittsburgh and Cincinnati. Bill Johnson in trouble. 28-3 Steelers. Bradshaw at least 1 touchdown pass. For Sims of the Seahawks, a 100-yard day. The Jets trying to struggle back behind their fine young quarterback Richard Todd. It was now 24-17. This a dandy. Philadelphia and New Orleans whipping each other down in the Superdome. 7-all in the third. San Francisco and Houston, we've had a controversy. We'll tell you more about that momentarily. 10-6 Houston leading right now in the third quarter. And the score all of you in Chicago are interested in, 9-7. Tampa Bay is ahead of Minnesota in that game, third quarter. Washington and St. Louis. Jack Pardee, the former Bear coach, about to win his third. The St. Louis Cardinals of Bud Wilkinson have been as inept as the Detroit Lions. Oakland leading Green Bay as Bart Starr may lose for the first time against the talented Raiders. Let's check in on some highlights right now. How about the Chicago game? Those of you who watched it, you know how important the kicking game is. Bob Parsons, number 86 of the Bears, with the score tied, lofted this one up, and the Lions were unable to catch it. On the fumble, recovered by Chicago, and Bob Avellini put together his first scoring match. Here's Walter Payton. And after Thomas's extra point, it was 7-0. Tommy Hart, one of Jim Fink's acquisitions from the 49ers, 53. One of the sacks against Greg Landry. What a porous line Monty Clark has got in Detroit. Now here's the man who's opened up the offense. Golden Richards, talented wide receiver. Couldn't beat out Tony Hill. That's why the Bears got a shot at him. Avellini hits him. It's a nice catch. And from there, Bob Thomas booted the field goal that put the Bears in command by 10 points. Bob Parsons, the former tight end quarterback out of Penn State, was not through. Number 86 boomed this one 52 yards. Steve Schubert, who has been a standout for several years for the Bears special teams, down on this one at the 2-yard line. Now the safety sack, and again it's Tommy Hart battling off that offensive blocker, coming in on Landry. 2 points for Chicago. Here's one of the reasons why Richards has opened up the offense. On the other side, Scott, who has that great speed, now can get some single coverage, and he gets loose. And the final is 19-0. And Irv, how about checking in on Washington, St. Louis?
But the Washington Redskins lead the St. Louis Cardinals 21-3 in the third quarter. And the Cardinals had the ball now third down on the 30-yard line or so in the first offensive drive of the third quarter. But the Cardinals are the team to start off with play action hijinks early in the game with a pass thrown out to the wide receiver upfield to Tilley, who takes the ball down to the 5-yard line, leading to a blocking field goal. But the Washington Redskins answer that field goal with a big play of their own as Tony Green, the rookie out of Florida, takes the ensuing kickoff on the 1-yard line, threads his way upfield and goes 99 yards. This second long kickoff return, kick return of the year. He had a punt return for a touchdown last week, and now here he goes coast to coast on a kickoff return. Theismann's not finished yet. The next time the Redskin offense gets the ball, he goes as great tight end Gene Fugert. He goes in easily, and the Redskins take a commanding 14-3 lead. The guy who I like to see running the ball. It's Mike Thomas right here. Watch this quick as he goes in. Redskins lead 21-3 in the third quarter.
All right, now let's get you up to date with Earl Campbell and the controversy down in the Astrodome. And Campbell now with a leg up on Offensive Rookie of the Year. He's off to a sensational start. He can power inside for Houston, as he did right here against the 49ers, battling to the 7-yard line. And when you look for a guy like this inside, they'll send him outside to the corner, and 34 can turn it on, his 4th touchdown of the year. Here's what angered Bum Phillips at the end of the second quarter. Not that there wasn't time left on the clock when the 49ers kicked the field goal. There was indeed time. But, says Phillips, how could you give them so many seconds to get the specialty team on the field? The referee you saw leaving with Bum was Don Wedge, the same official working last Monday night when Minnesota and Denver got onto that brouhaha at the end of regulation time. At halftime now of the Dallas-Los Angeles game, the commissioner, Pete Rozelle, will be here on CBS. He will discuss that incident of a Monday ago and also the Oakland-San Diego controversy. Right now here in New York, we've got to get ready to conclude a pregame show for that Dallas-Los Angeles game. So for those of you who have been watching the Bears and the Lions, let's send you back now to Pontiac, Michigan, Johnny Morris and Tim Ryan. Gentlemen.
Here comes Avelino.
Well, that's the final score here at the Silverdome. The Bears 19, the Lions nothing. An impressive win for Chicago. And we're going to come back and talk to some of the players in a moment.
All across our land, people know our brand. You can trust AC.
Thanks, AC.
Spark plugs by AC.
Hear that, man? You can trust AC spark plugs. And remember AC filters to help protect your engine from dirt and dust. Right, Ben? Ben? Kids!
Drive through dirt and dust. Good filters are a must. You can trust AC.
Thanks, AC.
Filters by AC. Plugs and filters by AC.
Well, there's a new Bear on the left of your screen, Golden Richards, and catching 2 passes here this afternoon. How do you feel about this trade now that the Bears are 3-0, Golden?
Well, I feel tremendous about it. You know, it's a great team, and they play with so much heart and intensity. It's a great feeling to be a part of that. And, of course, getting the opportunity to catch the ball is just tremendous. So I'm very happy at this point.
Right now, the Bears have a better record than the Dallas Cowboys. The Bears 3-0, and Dallas still has to play at 2-0.
That's right. I'll tell you, I'm a Chicago Bear now, so I don't care what the Cowboys do anymore. And I'm just concentrating on these Bears. And I'll tell you what, we're for real, and they're going to have a long way to go yet before somebody, puts us out of contention.
Golden, people often wonder when a player comes over after being with a team for several years, how long it takes, especially an offensive player and a pass receiver, how long it takes to get into the new offense. Did you find it a particularly difficult adjustment?
I'll probably have it down next year. But no, right now I just get confused every now and then on a few things. But I've put in a lot of study time, and the coaches have been, working with me extra, and I've spent a lot of time, on my own trying to learn it because, I wanted to play so bad. So it's not too hard to pick up, but there are a few little catchy things, and I get confused once in a while, but hopefully I won't cause anybody any problems.
Johnny, he comes from the most multiple of all offenses, though.
That's true. I know the fans would be kind of curious. What was the call on your long pass, the 52-yard bomb? What was the call for the fans' sake?
Well, to tell you the truth, it was a 48 ride, Z and X up. Which
well, that explains everything,
doesn't it? Yeah, all it was is just a streak to the outside. You use the speed to take, go by the cornerback inside or outside, and Bob just laid it up to the outside. Great pass. It's really just a pure speed pass.
Well, Golden, we want to congratulate you. Did a good job, and we know Bob Avellini's standing right next to you. Could you take that headset off and give it to Bob?
I'll give it to him.
And we'll put him on the spot. Thanks a lot.
Thank you all.
Bob Avellini had himself a good day today here, 9 of 12 for 151 yards, and he'll be happy to know that Jim Finks was pleased with his performance.
Yes.
Maybe we can tell him that right now. Can you hear us, Bob? Can you hear us, Bob Avellini?
Yeah, I'm here, Johnny.
Yeah, Johnny Morris and Tim Ryan up top, so we can wave at you here, Bob.
Okay, I see you.
Oh, yeah. And we are happy to report that your general manager just left here, happy with your performance.
Oh, I'm glad to hear that. It's even nicer to win the game, though.
Bob, you were 9 of 12 for 151 yards. You threw some key passes, and as you know, the passing game has gotten off to a slow start. What do you attribute to today's increased success dramatically?
Well, Johnny, we hit him on a couple of deep patterns, I think, that really helped us win the game. Golden got behind Luther Bradley and made a nice adjustment to the ball on that one long one. And then we got behind James Hunter by Scott, and he made a nice catch, that other long ball. And when you make big plays like that, that really helps the passing game. And I think in the first half, we were going underneath a little bit more, and we were connecting on those passes, and so they were creeping up on us, and then we just went over the top.
Well, did you have an idea that maybe you could work on the two young cornerbacks?
No, we really felt that they were two real good cornerbacks because they haven't allowed a passing yard up until this game. And, we just felt that our timing was a little bit off the last game. I think that either I was throwing the ball too soon or the receivers were making the breaks too late. And other than that, our passing game was really making progress. But, it was hard to tell after a 7-for-22 game against San Francisco.
Bob, thanks a lot. Can you put the other man on?
Sure,
James Scott, the man that was on the end of that long bomb.
I'd love to.
Nice game, Bob.
James Scott had 4 catches today for 91 yards, and the speedster was one of the very best receivers in the NFC last year, having himself a good start again this year. James Scott, can you hear us?
Yeah, I got you.
Tim Ryan and Johnny Morris, if you look up there, you can see us waving at you. Good day today, James Scott. And we just found out from Golden Richards and your quarterback, Bob Avellini, a little bit about the big plays. Did you have a feeling that you could beat those cornerbacks one-on-one?
Yeah, at the beginning, we were throwing kind of short routes, and they started creeping up on us. But, from watching film, I felt like I could beat, Hunter.
You like it when you can get even with that cornerback. Once you get even with him, what you want is for Avellini to throw that ball way, way over your head, don't you? Because you got that second gear.
Yeah, right. That's the thing that helps me, on a deep route. I don't come off as fast. I try to get, at least within 3 yards to him. If I can still catch him, in a backpedal or just turning, I think I got it.
James, one last question, quickly. Did you block well?
Yeah, I did a pretty good job.
Okay.
All right. We'll be back here at the Silverdome in just a moment. Thank you, James Scott.
I joined the move to Michelin.
I joined the move to Michelin.
I joined the move to Michelin.
You should too. Michelin's the one that introduced the radial, and Michelin makes only radials. Michelin's the one that's made radials longer than anybody else in the world. Michelin's the one to insist on.
Join the move to Michelin.
For real tire satisfaction, think Michelin first. We're second to none.
Your cooling system was corroded. That'll be $76 for parts, $28 for labor. What? You should have kept your guard up.
My radiator's steaming. I need a tow. Should have kept your guard up.
When winter hits, keep your guard up. Installed properly, DowGuard antifreeze protects against corrosion. And DowGuard guards your car down to 34 below. DowGuard antifreeze.
Take it from me. Keep your guard up.
Well, for Johnny Morris, our ex-Chicago Bear, it's been your 3rd game in a row seeing the Bears this season, and they've won all 3. And can you project a little bit in this division as to how you think they should do this year?
Well, it's kind of tough. I predicted originally a 9-7 record for the Bears. Could do better than that, starting off at 3-0. They really haven't faced what you call a strong opponent. St. Louis lost a lot of their big guns, and San Francisco's rebuilding, and Detroit's rebuilding. So I think the next couple 3 weeks are going to give Bear fans a real clue playing the Vikings and Oakland. We'll find out how good they are.
Well, for the Lions fans looking in today, it's clear that they are rebuilding, and the offensive line's still a primary problem. But there are bright spots for them, a very hustling, aggressive defense, and good running back. So hope for better things for the Lions. Stay tuned now as the NFL Today continues.